Hi, everyone. Welcome to a step-by-step guide for Lab 6, where we'll talk through data analysis and research reporting processes. This lab assignment expands upon your memory experiment from Lab 4. Before you start, remember to collect as much data as possible from your memory experiment. Don't begin gathering responses until you've received final approval. Share your revised experiment via email for this approval. Here's what we're going to cover today. First, you will prepare your research report by combining work from the previous labs, including your introduction section and APA formatted reference section. Next, you'll conduct statistical analysis on your data and then graph your results. Lastly, you'll write up your findings and interpretations in a research report. Keep in mind that the requirement for APA formatting throughout your report, such as statistical reporting, headings, page numbers, indentation, and font. However, a title page or running header is not necessary for this assignment. In previous courses, this is usually what students get docked the most points off of. So just make sure you're being very consistent with APA formatting. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Starting with part 1, you will revisit your introduction section from Lab 3. Improve it based on the proofreading of each group member and the feedback that you received. Next, compile the relevant references in APA format from your annotated bibliography. These two sections, the revised introduction and the reference list, should be added to your report document with APA style headings. In part 2, you'll write a detailed methods section. This will include descriptions of the participants involved, materials used, and procedures followed during your memory experiment. Also describe your experimental design, variables, measures, and how participants were assigned. The goal here is to provide sufficient detail for someone else to replicate your experience. Part 3 delves into the statistical analyses of your experiment's data. You need to understand what each column of your data signifies, how to measure accuracy, and which type of analysis is the most appropriate for this experiment. Typically, a paired t-test should be conducted for most experiments. Before starting, plan your analysis and identify the expected results and constructs of interest. Then clean your data by deleting irrelevant data and creating new variables for memory accuracy. For data cleaning and analysis, you could use R, Google Sheets, or any other software. If you opt for R, you could use the browser version of RStudio and PositCloud, which is highly recommended for the ease of use and convenience. Once the data is cleaned, you need to upload it to the R script and the outputs from your analysis. Part 4 is about graphing your data. Use R to create at least one graph showing the difference in your data as per your hypotheses. Again, making sure you're adhering to the APA guidelines for figures and captions. Using the ggplot2 package in R for this task is recommended due to its ease and flexibility. If you remember back to the cookbook that I sent back for one of the first labs, there's a lot of information regarding code, packages, specifically with ggplot, how to clean your data, and how to graph in APA format. Moving on to part 5, you'll write a paragraph detailing your results. It should be in APA format and must only describe the pattern of results. Remember, this section is not for interpretation, but for presentation of the data. Include at least one graph in this section. And again, going back to that tutorial markdown that I sent a few weeks back, there's a lot of good information that you can use as inspiration for how to write your own results section. And then finally, in part 6, you'll interpret the results presented in your results section by writing one paragraph discussion, interpreting your results, and comparing them with patterns from previous literature discussed in the introduction. And that's it. You now have a step-by-step guide for this lab assignment. Keep in mind the APA formatting guidelines and make sure that everything looks good with your response collection for the experiment. Good luck with your data analysis and research reporting. And as always, keep me updated with any questions that you might have.